Yeah, it's time to move on. It's time to get going. What lies ahead, I have no way of knowing. But under my feet, baby, the grass is growing. Yeah, it's time to move on. It's time to get going. Okay, so today we're going to talk about how I made this multi-purpose trash bucket. The brand really doesn't matter, but the shape does. Sorry about the... See, it is a rectangular shaped bucket. Many other laundry detergents and stuff like that come in these, and as you can see from the top, it's fairly rectangular. So you need two of these, partly in case you make a mistake. No, you're not going to make a mistake, but you do need the top of one of these to go on top of the existing one. I'll show you those components. I'll tear them apart right now. All right, now this is the laundry bucket, single height. The reason we need two is that we need to cut off the top of the second one for use of sitting down inside the front edge of this. And I'll reach over and show you the one that I've already cut and the things that I've done. So if you can, I'll set it on top of it here. This is not how it goes, but you can see about how much of it there is. And because of, there were different trimmings that I needed to make, but this is the line right down here that needs to be cut on the second one so that you can produce, sorry about the shadow here, so that you can produce this piece. And this piece will fit and sit inside the diameter of the other one. Okay? All right, now the reason for this being this way is so that with this off, you're able to put the garbage bag, and this again is for garbage, not for anything else, but you're able to put the garbage bag inside and have the edges of it draped and pulled over the outside like this, and then the top fits on top of it like that so that it is secure inside here. Okay, again, this is just for garbage. That's part of the function, is to be able to carry this garbage. I'll show you part of the next function, which is when it's needed, it's much more important than just having a garbage can. So the most prominent and important use of this is a poop bucket. This is the kind of bag that I use. It's a biodegradable 8-gallon trash bag. And since it's biodegradable, I don't trust it much with liquid. So when I have liquid waste that I need to expel from my body, I put it in sort of a chamber pot arrangement. It's really just a jar that I can deal with later. But this is for solid waste, okay? And it fits down inside over the top of these. Now, I want to explain a little bit about why I have these extra bits of, I'll call it padding, but these are actually heater hose that are on there. And so I'm going to attempt to get the put the bag in to show you, but I'll have to do it one-handed because I'm doing one hand with the camera, so we'll see how that goes. All right, so unfolded, you can see about how big it gets. Okay, and of course the reason for biodegradability is normal plastic bags will sit in a landfill or in the ground if you do a cat hole for dozens of years before they degrade. It's just gross. I notice that I leave the bag in for the regular garbage, and again, as I try and put this in, I'm going to set it in, then I'm going to round it around each of the corners. Okay, and that's almost impossible to do with one hand, so I'm going to pause and go ahead and do that and then come back to video. Okay, so there I've done it. It's all along the outside of the very top piece there. Another function of this top piece that we cut off of the other bucket is that it raises up another inch or so, and frankly for squatting it's a reasonable distance. If you have a very difficult time doing that, then you can lift this up onto something else, or you could probably stack, if you had multiple buckets, you could stack those to give yourself more height. You add more weight to it also. But anyway, so this is what it's going to look like. And one of the things you want to try and do is keep the sides from poofing out, or in actually a whole lot, so that you have a big area, frankly, for your stuff to drop down in. The nice thing about this setup is that if for some reason, I haven't had it happen yet, but if for some reason this green bag leaks for any reason, it falls into your regular trash bag, so you have double kind of protection there. All right, so you're going to have something like this. This is a regular size pool noodle. I actually started with one that was larger. It came with a large metal thing that I had purchased, but it's this round stuff like a pool noodle, and it's going to sit over the top like this on both sides, so that you have padding on both sides. Now you're going to sit this way. In other words, your legs are going to be on either side, and you're going to sit down on top of this. Believe it or not, it's very well. It's fairly comfortable this way. A lot of people think that you need to use the round buckets because they're going to be more comfortable, and of course manufacturers have made toilet seats that sit on those buckets so that it does become more comfortable for you, but again, that adds to the girth and weight of what you have. This doesn't really add anything. I needed a trash can anyway, so it hardly adds any girth to it at all. I've been using it for 3 years, and it works just fine. Okay, so two things. I've worn out the one that's on the other side here, so I'm going to be making another one of these pads as a part of the video. But I wanted to show you part of the reason that, if you'll notice, and I'll talk why, you notice that I didn't just cut a slit down the middle of this. I cut out material so that there's a much wider gap there. And a part of that is that as these pool noodles are made to be solidly connected all the way around, and then they hit people with them, and you can play with them, and they hardly break. But if you're using it for this, the actual surface that you're putting your weight on is, oh, this is fun, right here. See the bottom of that hole there? When it's turned like this, that's where all the weight's going to go, and therefore all the wear and tear is going to go right there. So if it's a slit and you have to stretch this to get it over this edge here, like this, if you have to do that, it puts more stress on that, and frankly then these don't last very much longer. What I'm trying to do is get as much stress off of that area as I can, okay, so that when you sit on it, it compresses, and that's stressful, and that's what happened to the other one, is that it finally wore out after a year of using it. So, okay, so also because the stress area is right here, if you're putting it over this thin edge, which this kind of a thin edge right here, you see how that digs in? Hopefully you can see. You see how that kind of digs into it and like that? So I added these buffers to go over this edge on both sides. These are just automotive heater hose, and I use 2 different sizes. Turn it around, we'll see if it's, there we go. So I have one right here, flip sideways, this little one that kind of hugs this and makes a wider area here for well, for me to put this second one on, in order that when I place this on there, if you can see, when I put it all the way down, there isn't a lot of stress sideways to tear this apart, and it actually holds better like that. So that's why I have those 2 on there. And of course the bag goes over the top of it in order to do that. So I'm going to make another one of these. I've already cut it to length, but I'll show you how to cut out the groove, hopefully how to do it safely. Okay, well, this is my piece of pool noodle that I got. This one just happens to be white, but you know it still has the hole in the middle and stuff. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make a slice all the way from here to here, and then another slice next to it, taking out that section of material we need. So I intend to use a utility knife, but this may not be the safest way for everyone to do this, because as you're sticking this through here, you may potentially, injure yourself, or might not feel comfortable using that. So one thing you can do is, if you have a piece of scrap PVC pipe or something like that, you can, just for cutting purposes, if it'll go, fit it inside like that, so that all the way along, so that you have a solid surface here, so that you don't overcut the hole. I haven't pushed it in all the way, but you get the idea. If you push it in all the way, then you've got it here, and you're basically cutting against the edge of the PVC pipe. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So let me get this. There it is. Okay. So now it's all the way through, as you can see. I'm going to start here, and I'm just going to very carefully make an incision all the way along this axis there. Boom. And go back again. Make sure that it's all the way slit. Okay. And you see that's completely slit there. But now I need to take out about another inch or so. So I'm going to come back here. Here's my original cut. I'm going to come over here about an inch. I'm going to angle it to the middle of the pipe there. And now this one I'm going to watch to try and make sure that I keep it the same thickness as the other one. And there I go. No blood, no nothing. And there's the piece out of it. Okay, I'm going to set this here. The wind will probably blow it away. Pull this outside of the PVC pipe, and you see what I have, so that when I bring the apparatus back like this, I can take this and just slide her over. Okay, and that's pretty good. You might ask, why don't you pad the front and the back part? Because frankly, you're not going to touch either of those parts with your body. It's not necessary to do so. But this side takes care of butt cheek and leg kind of at an angle, so it really is only supporting a small part of your leg actually in this whole process. Okay, so when done, these are pulled off. The bag, of course, is lifted out. Get all the air out of it. There's nothing in here. Get all the air out of it that you can. Tie it up. And what I like to do, so that it's not just a bag with brown stuff in it that you're looking at, also toilet paper goes in here too, is to get a regular brown paper bag, like you would get fast food from, or You can even purchase some fairly cheaply at dollar stores and stuff like that. But just a brown paper bag, and then keep it in a brown paper bag. Then however you choose to dispose of this, if you're going to use it in a cat hole, then I would only put this in, not the brown paper bag, in the cat hole to bury it. I would also take the contents of your liquid chamber pot and pour it in on top of this in the cat hole. I'd also trim any excess of this, like when you tie a knot in the, when you tie a knot in this, there's going to be some left over on the top. I would cut that off because there's no reason for it to be stuck in the ground having to degrade. That should do fine in a landfill, so I usually cut that off. But then also, if you're going to find another alternative for depositing this in some kind of public service that's provided for us, you might want to keep it in the brown paper bag and just deposit it with the other garbage, if that's what you choose to do. So I hope this has been helpful. Again, I didn't mention that these bags are available on Amazon. They're not very expensive. You have to buy about 80 of them or so. I've gone through in 3 years, and I haven't used them every day, but in 3 years I'm just into my second order of these bags. I think actually this brand comes in a 5-pack or a 6-pack. The earlier brand that I got, again, they're 8-gallon, was in a 3-pack, but there were more of these in the rolls. So I like this a whole lot. It gives you a lot of freedom when you're out here. You can come outside and do this if you're in a remote spot, or if you have limited space inside your vehicle, but you have enough space to set this and to be able to, it is possible then for you to be able to use this. And it is smaller than the Luggable Loo, and I found that I was very happy with the creativity that it took to see how this could work, and that it actually does work. So it's taken 3 years before I'll make a video to let you know how to use it. I will not show you how to use it. You can figure that out for yourself, but how to set it up, that's what this video is all about. So I hope it helps. Cheers. For sure, I did not mention that there may be a question about is how I cut this edge off of the second bucket, and I actually started it and used a handheld jigsaw to do it. You might do it with a Dremel tool, something else that you have. I would not suggest doing it with a utility knife because it's rather thick, but there was enough room to be able to do this with the jigsaw, and it comes out good enough, frankly. So I'm not saying that's what you should use. I'm saying that's what I used. If you have a better method, please let us know about cutting it. But since I already have mine, I don't think I'll be making another one in a long time. So thanks so much. Bye. Okay, and for those of you that just can't wait to see how it works, I'm going to give you a demonstration. Now get your mind out of the gutter. I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to show you how it works here. Okay, I am 200 and more pounds than I want to say. I will let you know that I'm definitely way short for my weight. I'm going to sit on this. Hopefully this won't be a blooper reel. But I just get on it like this. I have my full weight on it. I can move. It's fairly comfortable as long as I'm on a solid position here. And then being able to get up. Now, one of the things that happens is when your skin is on these little pool noodles, is that as you get up, it may stick to it, and unfortunately sometimes will drop into the green bag, which you don't want. So as you're getting up, you might want to try and get up one side or another, or put both thumbs right here to hold that, and boom, then you can get up like that and take care of your business. Far away from your
your troubles and worries. You belong somewhere you feel free. You belong somewhere